am building in Windenburg and I'm doing another community lot. This time I am doing a cafe. Um, so I kind of wanted to build something. You can kind of see me doing it right now. I wanted to build something on a pond with like an octagonal porch where you could like drink tea or coffee outside on the patio. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I started with one little patio and then I did another one because I thought that it would look nice with like the balance of the build. And so I just started to like put walls where I felt like it could maybe look okay. So I have two diagonal walls, and right now I'm like, oh, is this going to be a pain for me to decorate the interior of? And it really wasn't that big of a deal. I used both diagonals for like doorways leading into it. The stairs become a bit awkward, and so there's like some dead space in the build. Like I'm pretty sure there's one area that is just a triangle that has nothing in it. And I was like, I'm just going to let this exist here because I'm not gonna fight around with the floor plan for this. And I didn't really have a picture for this. I was kind of just going off of what I thought would look nice, which was adding another floor where I wanted to have activities in the cafe because cafes are kind of boring in the game. Like you're someone just show up, get a pastry, get something to drink, and then there's nothing really to do. So there's a library upstairs with bookcases, a desk with a computer, and then in the tower is a couple of easels. There's not really much in the towers, but I wanted to make sure that the towers had something going on in it. And an easel doesn't require that much space, so I figured that would be my best bet is to just put easels up there. I went with a very, like, light neutral color palette for this. I'm using a lot of, like, cream colors and white, and, like, I'm using the stones from the Castle State kit in the lighter swatch, as well as the thatched roof in the, like, cream swatch. Is that what you would call it? And so that's kind of what I did for the color palette. And the interior, I use a lot of yellow and, like, clearly cream and white, but I also use a little bit of pink inside. Not a whole lot of pink, though. Just, like, one wall has, like, a floral wallpaper that's pink that I thought looked pretty. I had to stop my thought momentarily because my brother's dog is here, and if you've watched some of my past speed builds, like, this dog gets into everything, and I thought I heard a noise, and, like, I learned today that the little dog can jump up on our dining room table now. I literally found him standing on top of it earlier. So I heard a noise. And I was like, oh my God, Megan, finish your thought and hurry up and make sure that he's not on the table. But he's now on my bed behind me, staring at me. So hopefully he'll just sleep and be good instead of um, jumping on top of furniture that he's not supposed to. But I decided to like just like put little rectangle boxes off of certain parts of the main build to create some sort of dimension in the build. And so that's kind of just what I'm doing now is placing them around, bringing the roof out just so that it's not a box. So it looks a little bit easier on the eye and looks like more thought went into the build. And it also looks a little bit more detailed. I use mostly windows from cottage living, which are like my go-tos. I think the arched ones are Discover University. Perhaps. I'm not completely sure, but I'm almost certain that those are from Discover University, and I really like how they look from the inside. I use a square curtain from, I think, one of the most recent expansion packs. Is it, like, the one with, like, San Sequoia? I don't remember the name of that pack right now, but it's the curtain from there, which I use in all of my builds because I really love that curtain, but I think it looks so pretty with, like, the curved windows because the curved part isn't covered by the curtain, but the other part is, so it looks like some, like, nice little natural light could come in from the top of it, and I think it looks really nice. And for the interior, I also end up going with a lot of plants. So while I was decorating this, I kind of had the idea of making sure that there's a lot of greenery. Once again, don't know what I was saying, but I was going for the like more like nature filled cafe. In my head, I was originally gonna make it seem more like it could be outdoor plants, like, growing inside. I didn't end up doing that. I went with more, like, potted plants and, like, ivy curtains and things like that, but it's, like, all very neutral, and I really like how this build turned out. I feel like it looks really nice, and I like the shape of it. I feel like it's interesting enough. It also looks really cute in the world. I love this lot over here. It's a very tiny lot, but I love the trees in the background. I think it's across the street from a park, which I believe was a bar lot before I demolished it. I feel like I remember it being a community lot anyway. It is like a really nice place for a community lot. I was a little bit worried that maybe the lot would be too small to have the look I wanted, which was for it to be on a pond, but it ended up turning out completely fine. Like, I feel like the pond is just big enough for what I wanted, and the build itself, like, the cafe is pretty small inside, but you don't really need a whole lot of space. Like, the bar area is really tiny. It's just, like, the exact amount of space that you need for the full, like, cafe item that came with Get Together, and then I just scattered different tables around wherever they could fit, and I hope that the outdoor tables are functional. They should be. I feel like it it'll probably be okay. And I mostly just put the green ivy around the outside with some white flowers. I kept the landscaping pretty similar to how I normally do my landscapings in the last, like, I would say, like, 5 months. I just use rocks, I use white flowers, I use white mushrooms sized up. A lot of cottage living usually is what I like for my landscaping. And this time the dirt path did disappear, but I've been outlining the paths with the, like, small overgrown grass from cottage living, and so I felt like I had, like, a map and an outline for where the dirt had to go again, and so I was a little bit frustrated, but not as frustrated as I guess I would normally be when I didn't have too much of an outline for my, like, pathing and the game will just delete it. I'm still not really sure why it does that occasionally, but it happened. There's not too much dirt anyway. It's literally just a path leading from the road to the staircase. And then I have a little bit of dirt around the pond area. Not too much, but yeah, this is what I was talking about with the overgrown grass. I've been learning to just lay it down before I even start a path. I feel like it helps me to make the path look a little bit more natural instead of, like, having it be, like, not curved enough or, like, it's, like, too straight. So I usually just do it like that, and feel like when I redo the dirt, I think I add a little bit more to it. Um, I feel like the hardest part about dirt paths now is finding, like, a perfect color of dirt because, like, there's, like, a lot of different options, but I feel like none of them ever match the natural environment the way that I want it to, but I've been I've been getting better with it, and I've definitely seen people who use dirt paths, like, really beautifully. I really like when people layer, like, 2 different tones of dirt together, and, like, I find that really beautiful and looks so natural, and I still haven't been able to perfect that, but maybe one day because I really do like the light dirt paths with, like, a darker outline underneath. It, like, looks like it just, like, belongs there. And this is the interior. I cut out me placing the stairs because it was a little bit hard to find where I wanted the stairs to go in the first place. Um, so I end up, like, splitting this up into 2 rooms, kind of. Well, I guess it's technically 3 rooms, because the cafe bar will have walls walled off, and there'll be a doorway that gets to the, like, back of the bar, and then there's, like, the other room that leads out to the outdoor seating, which has a couple of tables in that little room too. So you walk into the cafe, you could sit in the front if you want. I think there's, like, ends up being 3 tables, so there's 2 in front of the bar, and then there's a larger table, I believe, in the, like, front window area. a very small bathroom. I didn't do too much with the bathroom. I do end up remembering to put a toddler toilet in too, because I know that a lot of like EA builds community lots, they're not like toddler friendly. So when you have a family in the game, it's like hard to bring your Sims like and your children places because there's usually nothing for them to do or like take care of some of their needs. So I tried to remember to place a toilet in. I did not do well. I guess my last build was an inn. So it was a bar. You didn't need a toilet, like a toddler toilet in there. So I guess it's okay. I was gonna say I didn't do it in the last one, but it was not a necessary item. I don't think anyone's bringing their toddlers to the bar that I built. Um, but yeah, this is the upstairs. I kind of move around a little bit more in this build. So I go from the upstairs, which is like more of the activity area, and then back downstairs to kind of clutter more and decorate more and bring in some plants. But right now I'm kind of just laying out what kind of activities I want and like where they fit in. And I realized that I end up having to cover up those two pieces in the corner where the fence cuts in. That happens all the time with that Castle Estates like chunky fence piece. I end up covering it up with a bookcase so you don't really see it, but it's always a little bit of a pain when you have to like purposely try and hide like clipping in objects in this game. But overall, like furnishing this build didn't really take me that long. I did take like a couple days in between to finish it. Like yesterday, I think it was, as I'm doing this voiceover, is when I am doing this part, which is like the wallpaper and adding in the clutter. And I do clutter it a little bit more than I have been like as of lately. I think that's just because I knew I wanted a bunch of plants around and it feels easier to decorate with plants. And then I ended up doing a co-working stream on Twitch where I kind of just sat there editing this video, which helped a lot with the editing process and like made it feel a lot faster, just like relaxing with music on stream and like chatting when people turned up and stuff like that. And I think that I would like to get to a point where I do like a weekly editing stream like that, where I just like hang out on stream live editing because it is helpful. I can't really ever make promises when it comes to live streaming and like certain like scheduled things because my brain does not work in that way. I could definitely like I'm easily able to stick to a schedule for YouTube. I think that's easy for me. I have kind of moved some of my days around a little bit, but I'm back to uploading on Mondays, which has always felt the best for me. I think it's like easier to remember and I'm like, okay, like weekends is when I like finish up the video and I have it ready for Monday. It's a lot easier in my head to like keep track of time. Whereas when I was uploading on Fridays, it would be like Thursday and I'm like, oh yeah, like I completely forgot. And then I'd like do the video then because I would like forget all week. But yeah, this is just the upstairs area of the build, mostly completely furnished now with like a little bits of flowers around. I really like this color palette. I did put in this pink wall, but now looking at it, I feel like I liked it better with the like brown wall with the white wood at the bottom. I thought that that maybe looked a little bit cozier and a little bit prettier. Like it all like felt like it came together better. But the pink wall is there, it's fine, it looks okay. I guess I was just trying to put in some more color, and I really love that wallpaper from the Paranormal pack, it's one of my favorites. Normally, I use it in the white, but the pink is really pretty too. I've definitely used the pink before in, like, different bedrooms, and that's also another reason why I haven't been doing, like, normal houses lately is because furnishing bedrooms gets so repetitive. And, like, me and that's also why I feel like building this was so quick because I don't have to worry about making sure that there's a certain amount of rooms in the build and, like, the bedrooms and, like, using different items, and I don't have to worry about a floor plan as much because this one is literally this is all just open space. So I don't have to worry about a hallway, fitting in extra bathrooms. There's only 1 bathroom in this build anyway, and it's downstairs, and I didn't need to worry about making this tower makes sense because I could just have a ladder up the here because it's all just the activity space anyway. Um, but yeah, even just editing the video went really quickly. I'm unsure what kind of build I want to do next. I have like a couple suggested builds that I still am going to end up doing, but I think that's going to be when I can look at a picture and replicate it where my brain's not right there right now. Um I mostly just have to build from the brain and get a general idea of what I want. Like today when I was building this, it was um the pond with the porch outside and then the build kind of like slowly started to form from just like an image in my head of people having tea outside on a patio with a pond, except in my head there was way more like foliage outside, a lot more trees. It was definitely like way more hidden in nature. um, but I still really like this too, and I couldn't really do much more because I don't like covering the whole build with trees because it's hard to like make it look nice for one for pictures, but also just like on the gallery, but also like trees getting in the way for gameplay and stuff. Like I know like a lot of builders I really like, they use a lot of trees and it's always so beautiful. I don't know how they do it. But yeah, I didn't put too many trees and I always use the same trees like over and over again too. Most of the trees I feel like I use are base game, which I guess is good. I also didn't save this as an empty shell like I didn't last week, which was something I was starting to do with my houses. We're uploading it without anything in it. Um, but the last couple builds is just completely furnished and it'll be on the gallery. I don't remember if I put the bar up on the gallery. I forget so easily, especially if I don't play test on the same day that I'm like recording all of my other stuff. I just like it leaves my mind. So I'm gonna try and upload this to the gallery in a like timely manner. Also, here is when I found out that you can stack things on top of those horse ranch plates. And so I was like, wow, this changes everything. So I put some like snowy escape plates on top of some. I put a mug on another one. And over here on the side, I thought that this area might be where you like drop off your like used mugs, I would guess. There's no sink over there. So I guess they wash the dishes in the bathroom, or maybe there's a dishwasher underneath in the cabinet somewhere. I don't really know. But yeah, that's where I guess you can put your dirty mugs when you're done. And then they clean them up from there. But yeah, I'm mostly now just cluttering, putting books and stuff up here. Whatever I thought would like fit in, which is like usually my go-to clutter. I use like the same items over and over again, but it's okay. I branched out with using like some different plants here and there, but I did use the eye drop tool pretty often to grab the plants I used upstairs and bring them downstairs just because I didn't want to have to go through the catalog so much. But I feel like it worked and I really like how the colors look together. A lot of like browns, creams, yellows, like I said before. There's some blue upstairs in the blue rug, but it's mostly like pops of green from the plants and yellows from the walls and also the chairs. One of my favorite chairs is the cats and dogs chairs that are literally right there on the screen. And I like the mixture of the plants in that little corner by the stairs. I feel like that might be one of my favorite areas of the build. I'm unsure if it'll picture well, but that's one of my favorite spots. I feel like it's nice and cozy and it like had the like vibe that I think I was originally going for when I was like thinking about what I wanted to do for the interior so that I could like look forward to doing it instead of dreading it. So lately I've been trying to just like have a general idea of what I want the theme to be so that I feel more motivated to do something with it and like not like dread having to furnish a build. And I remember to put some lights outside. So I'm using these lanterns around in areas where it's not going to be as like annoying to, like, see. Like, 'cause sometimes if I see a light in my build pictures, I'm like, "That's not supposed to be there, that's just there because I wanted some light outside." But this time, I feel like I like how the lights look on the walls outside, and yeah, there's the toddler stuff. I made sure there was the toilet downstairs, and I also bring up a toy box, but I put it inside. I didn't know where I was gonna find a place for that. That the bookcase is no longer functional though over there, but there's other bookcases, so it's okay. I'm gonna be getting to the screenshots soon. I haven't taken them yet, so it'll be like a cut until I do get into them. But yeah, here are the screenshots. It's a very small build, so there's not really much to see, but it is just a cafe downstairs. That room's a little bit dark, but I did my best. And the upstairs with all the activity stuff. I also wanted to take a moment to say that me and a few friends just started to raise funds for the PCRF, which is the Palestine's Children Relief Fund. And I have a donation link in my description if you'd like to contribute any amount. Any amount helps. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I know that that part was kind of just thrown in. I already kind of worked on this video, but I wanted to get the donation link in as early as possible. So yeah, thank you. Bye.